I'm out here on Kanan Road, heading out to Zuma Beach in Malibu, and I wanted to just take all with me tonight on a little spirit ride as we talk a little about what's going on in the world, some solutions, and how it all comes back down to finding our true path and purpose. So I'm wearing my Homeland Security shirt today, fighting terrorism since 1492, and that's certainly the case, as this country was actually founded on terrorizing an entire group of people, and we can whitewash it out of the history books, but yet there it is. And our reminder of that is what we are going through right now as the second round of Native Americans who have been relegated to living with less rights than was given to us by our Creator. And we are really changing the definition, in fact, of what it means to be a human being. To be a human being, we were born with free will, and that means individual sovereignty to make up our own minds and to live the life of our own choosing. And we're coming to see that our free will is being manipulated and circumvented by a gang of criminals. And I just want to make it very clear to everyone that I wouldn't anticipate anything getting any better until people are ready to stand up and fight for what's right. They didn't take us this far down this road of tyranny to just go back and say, ha ha guys, we were just playing with you. So, for the sake of all people, I have just decided that I am not going to participate or go along with one bit of this insanity, because it actually is very detrimental to your own psychology to go along with things that you know to be wrong and things that are actually unhealthy for you as a human being. There is no question about the fact that we need oxygen to breathe. I mean, that's being human being. First second in this world is gasping for your first breath. And for them to now say that we're going to alter our natural breathing apparatus and to have everybody go along with that without a second of hesitation is got me so concerned for the state of the human race. How have we gotten this far off track, and how have we been bewitched to the point of being tricked into what's basic about life? Inhalation, exhalation, inhale oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide. So it's very fundamental and almost offensive. They're basically saying that we have you so brainwashed that we're going to tell you something that is a slap in the face of what it means to be a human being, and we're going to get you to go along with it. It's one thing if somebody does something by force to you because they have to inherit the karma of those forceful actions, but when they brainwash you and get you to consent to your own slavery and to your own, in fact, genocide, because by limiting your oxygen intake every day, you are, in fact, shortening your lifespan. No doubt about it, not a question about it. So you need to realize that following orders right now means that you are going to live less life. That's how serious it is to fill your blood with carbon dioxide instead of oxygen. So I am almost at a loss for words. I have a young son, 9 years old, that means the world to me. And I have a nephew. I have several nephews, cousins, everything across the board. And when I think about what the children are seeing for their future, it's intolerable to me as a father, to me as a human being. And I can't call myself a real man or a man at all if I just sit here silent and allow tyrants to just dictate to us how we're going to live the rest of our lives. It's absolutely, out of bounds, and it's gotten to the point where to go along with it any further is simply insane and to your own demise and detriment. So I wanted to talk also about the concept of what evil actually is, because this is something that's being greatly misunderstood right now. And when we really consider the concept of evil, what we're discussing is the idea of going against the natural way or the natural order of things. That's really the definition of evil. So to put on a mask and breathe differently is in fact an evil act, unless you're a surgeon and worried about blood splat or something like that getting on your face. What you are actually doing is going against the natural order and the natural way of things. So I just wanted all to really consider that it's not only about a mask, it's about choosing, do you want to engage in evil behavior that goes against yourself as a human being, it goes against small and mid-sized businesses, and it goes against the future of all of us being able to live the lives of our choosing. And if we're getting to the point where we can't even breathe the way that we want to breathe without government approval, we are beyond on a slippery slope. We're at the end of the road, and a guaranteed genocide is already underway. So it's time for all to pause and really, think about what they're engaging in and what it means to their life and the life of those they know and love, and really consider if that's something that they want to do with their lives, is let their lives be a tool for some global agenda that involves genociding your other fellow human beings. I mean, for me, I can't acknowledge that as the purpose of my life, and whatever it takes at this point, I'm absolutely not giving a single inch. I'm getting to the point where it's getting difficult for me to sustain myself with the limitations of me not being allowed to go in most stores without a mask right now, and me taking the moral stance that I will not comply. I will not bend. I will not break. I will not back down. I don't care if it takes me to my death, because it's better to live as a human being with a free will and expressing my individual sovereignty and being able to go to the end of my life and meet my Creator and say, I did all this. I take responsibility and I didn't do one thing I knew to be wrong, because I set a precedent that was going to hurt all of the future by just doing one wrong thing at this time. We're past the point of no return. It's time for every person to see the scoreboard, read the handwriting on the wall, and know that they are not playing games with us. And this is not going to get better by everybody just rolling along and getting used to the new normal. This is never going to be my new normal. I am a wild human being. I'm never going to be put in a zoo, caged, confined for other people's viewing pleasure. It's not going to happen. And for everybody else, that's up to you and your soul. But if you think that you're going to have a great existence that is going to be fulfilling and bring you a sense of purpose and contentment and all of the great joys of life by just simply complying and being a slave the rest of your days, I think you're sadly mistaken, because the original human virtue is rebellion against anybody or anything that attempts to restrict, confine, or otherwise bend your free will. So I'm calling on the original human virtue within people right now to realize that nobody has the right to infringe upon you. So put your foot down, and all of us putting our foot down in sequence, in order, is going to shake the world until they're going to be forced to do something different and take a new approach or run for the hills. Because once the people wake up and realize that this is a genocide, I hope that they aren't going to give these people a free pass and keep you know, putting them up on their pedestals and bowing down to their little dictates. We got to break the cult of personality. We got to break the cult of authority, and we got to get back to humanity. Humanity means that every person has free will. So you are not to infringe on another person in any way. Even if you think it's a really good idea to say that everybody should be wearing masks, you wear the mask. If it's a good idea, use logic and reason, and other people will happily comply. But when you notice that nobody else wants to do it, it could be because logic and reason doesn't work, and their logic and reason is telling them this is bullshit. And my common sense, my 4 decades of life almost now, is telling me that I need to breathe oxygen. All human beings before me have lived by breathing oxygen, and I'm not counting on Anthony Fauci and Birx and all these other loser, paid-off scumbag chumps to be smarter and to have it more figured out than the creator of life. So the question I have for you is, what is making you believe that illusion? Not your neighbor, not somebody close to you, but you. They're selling a lie, but why are you buying it? And that's what all need to reflect on this time. Look at all of the lies you have bought and return to sender and come back to the human race while we still have a chance. From here, it is a brave new world /1984 with the certificate of vaccine ID AI following us, tracking us everywhere we go to make sure we have our Nazi papers. The line has been drawn in the sand for me. I promise you that. And I'm just waiting to see if there's anybody else that's going to join me on the side of truth and on the side of our true destiny. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you. And be strong and make a stand every place and every opportunity you can. Thanks.